Here is a challenge. Create a spreadsheet where it's impossible to enter bad data. No more repeated typos, no more negative numbers in your cost field, no more past dates in deadline column. Sounds impossible? No, it's not. Google Sheets has a feature called data validation that can enforce strict rules on what gets entered in your cells. I'm going to show you exactly how to set up these rules and customize them for different data types. So you can instantly spot most common data entry mistakes that are ruining your spreadsheets. So we'll be working on this spreadsheet that is being shown on your screen. We'll be creating some errors, fixing them, and apply data validation rules. So go ahead, make your own copy of this spreadsheet from the description box below, and let's get started. Now, what is this sheet all about? This sheet is all about tracking status of various tasks that we are doing inside our company. A very normal use case of using a Google Sheets. Now, as you can see, we have task ID, we have task description, we have assignee, to which team member is this task assigned, we have the status of the task, we have due dates, we have estimated hours, and we have the completed section. Now in the completed section, I want you to look at what a usual practice is. How we take care of the completed section is usually like this. We type done, then we sometimes type done, we sometimes type here completed, and then that is how the whole thing is taken care of. So we as human, we start typing the completed thing in our mood, like where it's somewhere we write done with D small, we have done with D capital, and sometimes we have completed, and this makes it a mess. Now, okay, the task is completed, I know, but someone else looking at the sheet will be seeing, okay, what is happening here? Is it completed? Is it done? Okay, there is something written on this column. Does that mean it is completed? So every person will have a different scenario and opinion on what should be written there. So we need to have a constructive way to declare the task is completed or not. Do you agree with me? Right? Now, here is a status column. So whenever we add a new task here, so should we just go ahead and type here not started? And as you can see, I already did a spelling mistake, right? It's not started. So I'll have to go ahead and correct it to not started. So every time I create a new task, I'll have to make sure the spellings are right, it is case sensitive, capital letters, small letters, everything has to be same like it is written on the entire column. Now this becomes a mess when the sheet goes very long, and it is going to be a big headache for you managing things on what task is being completed and what is not. Because just imagine in future, we want to filter tasks that are already completed. We want to filter tasks which are in progress. It will be a mayhem because these spelling mistakes and all those data entry mistakes are going to create a messed up filtered view in future. It is not a very good data handling practice. So how do we tackle this? So what I'll do here is I'll just select the entire column, deselect the header, and I'll go to data, click on data validation. And as you can see, I'll just click on add rules. When I clicked on add rules, you can already see these default drop downs were created automatically. Now it is asking us to create a drop down because we have repeated these entries multiple times. So Google Sheet is suggesting us to create these drop downs, and we can decide the colors based on whatever we need. When things are completed, things are not completed, it completely depends on how we want to arrange these things. And whenever we click on the done icon, and as you can see, the whole sheet is now filled with drop downs where we can select any one of them and decide whether things are completed or not completed. I can just double click here, and all these drop downs are arranged in a proper view, and we can just go ahead and choose things based on the status of the task. No more typos, no more spelling mistakes. It's pretty handy drop down tool which we should be using consistently. Now, let me go back and show you a shortcut way of doing this. There is no drop down here. So what I do right now is simple. The whole column is now selected. I'll just right click on this drop down icon. And as you can see, this is a shortcut way of doing the same thing. You can choose the colors you want. And after you have chosen the colors you want, I'm choosing it all random. I'll just click on the done icon, double click this, and we have a drop down created entirely from that, right? Now, stick to the end and I'll also show you how to customize the appearance of these drop downs, okay? Now, And these were the status of the task, and usually our task is added based on 3 status only, which is completed, in progress, not started, on hold. So we have these 4 status which are never going to change. Now let me go to the teams column, which is the assignee column. People are being assigned to certain tasks. So all these people are from the team, right? Now imagine a scenario where I have these team members in my team, and in the future I want to add few people to my team. So don't you think if I follow the same process, just go ahead and create the drop down, and if I click on done, what will happen here? Look at this very carefully. If I want to add a new team member, I don't see a team member from here. I'll have to edit that, and then I'll have to add another team member every time to every cell. No, that will become a big mess. So we have a different solution in Google Sheet for this. So how do we do that is simple. I'll select this column, deselect this header, go to data, and then I'll go to data validation. And after going to data validation, I'll click on add rules. And in add rules, as you can see there, it is asking me as drop down. I want to click here, and I am clicking on drop down from a range. I'll click on that, and I will have to select a range here. So what I'll do is I'll click here, and here I'll have to select the range. I'll just slide a little right. I'll just select this range, select to a certain limit, like depending on your team size. I'll just click on OK, and the range is also now selected. I'll just click on the done icon here, and that's it. We have created a drop down from a range. Now what does that mean here is simple. I'll just go here, and as you can see, I have this created as a drop down, but this time this drop down is from a range. Now beautiful part of this drop down from a range is very simple. If I tomorrow come ahead and add my name here or any one of the team member, I'll just press enter, and as you can see that new name is being populated on this drop down. The same goes for if I delete my name, that team member will also be deleted from this drop down. So that is the beautiful part of creating a drop down from a range. There also be a thought in your mind, what happens when I delete a team member by mistake? Look at this. If I click here and I delete this, you can see all the tasks that had this Alice assigned is now having an error, which is showing you that there is something wrong with the sheet. So it is an instant feedback that you did something wrong, so that you can just go ahead and correct that at the very same time. You see, your spreadsheet is becoming bulletproof. You cannot commit any error, and that is the beautiful part of data validation. So let's move next. Now look at this due date column. So whenever I'm entering a new date here, what do you think we should have in this due date column? Don't you think when someone is entering the date, they might enter a date that is before today by mistake, and in future we can face issues, right? No, what we can do is simple. We'll just go ahead, click on this entire column. We'll deselect the current entries for now. Okay, we have deselected the current entries. What I'll do is I'll go to data, go to data validation, I'll go to add rules, and it is asking me to create a drop down. So what I'll do is I'll change the criteria. The criteria will be date is after today. I'll click on done, and that's it. Now if I enter a date that is before today, let's say for example, today I'm recording this video on 17th of July 2025. So if I enter a date that is before today, let's say I enter 16, it will start showing me an error that input must be after today, right? Now as I entered this date, the warning is input must be after. So this message is a bit not clear to my head. So what I'm going to do is edit the message here. Look carefully. I'll click on this same data validation rule. I'll go to advanced option. It is asking me to enter a help text if someone enters the wrong data. And it is also having two options where it is asking me whether if someone enters the wrong data, should we show a warning or should we completely reject the input? In this case, I want to completely reject the input, and the help text will be date should be in future. Okay, I'll just press enter, and this time I'll just delete this cell, and look what I'm going to do here. I'll just enter a date here. As you can see, date should be in future. It has completely rejected the input, and this is how you start making your Google Sheet bulletproof. I'm sure you are feeling that excitement that your Google Sheet will never have a wrong data entered inside, right? Now, if I go next and I'll show you something else, is we have so many options in the criteria. We have text contains, we have numbers, we have greater than, less than. Your creativity is the only limit that you can think of. Okay, let's move on to the next thing, which is about estimated hours. Now, estimated hours is something, what kind of custom validation do we want here? We want these values to never have a negative value entered inside, right? So what I'll do is simple. Enter the entire column, deselect the header, I'll go to data, and then I'll go to data validation. And here I'll just click on add rules. And as you can see, the first thing they did was showing us a drop down. So we just have to change the criteria. The criteria is it should be greater than, and the value should be 0. What do we want here is simple. I'll show an help text, which is enter a number greater than 0. And I just want to reject the input. I'll just click on enter. And as you can see, this column has now data validation. So let's say I enter a value which is 0. It will not let me enter the value 0 because now this whole column is bulletproof to making me any errors, right? Now I'll just close this error message, and then I will show you how do we track the completed column. Now this is a very tricky step because everyone will write their own spelling, own thought of what they want to enter here. The simple thing that you can do here is simple. I'll just delete these entries. So how do we track whether the task is completed or not? I'll just click on the entire column, deselect the header. I'll go to data, I'll go to data validation, click on add rules, and I'll go to criteria. Criteria this time will be a tick box. So whenever you add a tick box, from my suggestion, what you can do is click on this checkbox and add your custom values on what is the meaning of that tick box. Okay, so if it is ticked, the meaning of that is completed. And if it is unticked, the meaning of that is not completed. Simple, that is what we want, right? So we have chosen that if it is ticked, the meaning is completed. And if it is unticked, the meaning is not completed. Now, so all I do is I click on done, and that's it. So this column is also having a custom validation now. So someone managing the task, what they'll do is simple. They'll click on the tick icon, and when it is ticked, that simply means that the task is completed. And if it is not ticked, that means it is not completed. Now there will be zero discrepancies on writing done or not done or completed with spelling mistakes and all that stuff. All of that is taken care of. Right? Now for those who are watching this video till here, I have something extra for you. The most special part in this I see is the drop down from a range. And there are ways you can style it as well. Simple. I'll just click on data, head over to data validation, and I will choose here value contains one from the range. And here, as you can see, if I have advanced option, I can actually choose the display style. So display style could be chip, could be arrow, could be plain text. And if it is plain text, that means whenever I'm writing here something, so if I double click, it will show me some values and I can select from that values. If I start writing here, it will show me a drop down and I can just select that value to enter it. So it is a data validation that you can even hide, choose an arrow option, or just create a normal chip. So depending on whatever style you need, I usually prefer the arrow option. Because it clearly demonstrates that it is a drop down, and you can also choose chips or whatever your requirement is. All right. Now I'll just click on the done icon. The same drop down appearance can be changed for the status icon or any of the drop downs you will add in future. So that is all. You have a solid foundation of data validation in Google Sheets. So after watching this video, you are ready to watch what custom data validations are, what dependent drop downs are. We can create a bunch of things with data validation in future to make sure your Google Sheets are even more bulletproof. You have a strong foundation now, and in the upcoming videos, we will be covering that as well. That is all, guys. If you think these videos are actually adding so much value in your Google Sheets journey, hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, comment down any questions you have, hit that bell icon so that you get notified whenever I post a new video. That is all, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.